Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to section do while looping structure. Okay, we look to the syntax of do while. So here we have do reserve word followed by statement. Statement can be simple or compound. If compound, we need to enclose within a braces. Okay, next we have while reserve word. Okay, and then we have expression, okay, to evaluate the loop condition variable. Okay, and then at the end of the while statement we have a semicolon. So this figure show how we can represent the while using flowchart. Okay, first we execute the statement. Okay, and then we will evaluate the expression. So as long as the expression is true, loops continues. Okay. Okay, so once the expression return false, we will terminate the loop. We will terminate loops. Okay, so to avoid an infinite loop, okay, body must contain a statement that makes the expression becomes false. Okay, meaning that we need to update the loop control variable. Okay, so look at this example. So here we initialize I equal to 0. And then we have a do while structure, okay, and we also have a compound statement. Okay, the first statement we display I value, so I is 0. Okay, so we output 0. Okay, then we update the loop control variable. 0 plus 5 is 5. Okay, we evaluate 5 less than or equal to 20. True, we continue loops. Okay, display I, so display I is 5. Okay. Okay, and then 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay, so 10 less than or equal to 20. True. Okay, print I, print 10. Okay, then we update 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 is less than or equal to 20. True. Okay, print 15. Okay, then we update the value. 15 plus 5 is 20. Okay, evaluate the expression. 20 is less than or equal to 20. True. Okay, display 20. Okay, and then update the loop, update I. Okay, 20 plus 5 is 25. Evaluate it. 25 less than or equal to 20. False. Okay, so since it's false, we will terminate the loop. Okay, so this is the output of this code. We have 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. Okay. Okay, so note that while and for loops are pretest loops. Okay, this is the two previous loop structure we already learned before. So it is possible that pretest means we test the loop condition before we can execute the body of statement. So it is possible that this loop may never activate due to entry condition. So if we found that loop control variable is false, we will never execute the body statement. Okay. So in contrast, do while loops are post-test loop. Okay, because we will evaluate the loop condition variable at after we execute the body of statement. So these loops always execute at least once. Okay. So we look at this example. Okay, here we have a similar. We have two loops. Okay, one is while loops. Okay, the second one is do while. Okay, so both of them have similar statement. Okay, loop control variable. Okay, we look at the first loop. Okay, so here we initialize I equal to 11. Okay, then we for pre-test loop. Okay, so we test the loop control variable. 11 less than or equal to 10, false. So since it's false, we will terminate the loops. Okay, and then meaning that we will never continue the body of statement. Okay. Okay, for second loop, okay, for do while loop, okay, so we initialize I equal to 11. Okay, then we execute body of statement. So print I, so print 11. Okay, and then we update the I value. 11 plus 5 is 16. So now I is 16. Okay, 16 less than or equal to 10, false. Okay, so since it's false, we will terminate the loops. Okay, so here we at least we execute once. Okay, the body of statement. So that is the difference between pre-test loop and post-test loop. Okay. Okay. So now we already learned three loop structure. Okay. While, for, and do while loop. Okay. So this is the guideline. Okay, how we can choose between three loop structure. Okay, if we can determine in advance the number of repetition needed. Okay, so the for loop is the correct choice. So for example, in advance, we know that we want to print a message for 100 times. Okay, so it is advisable for us to use for loop. Okay. However, if we don't know and cannot determine in advance the number of repetition needed, and it could be zero, meaning that uh, the execution may never be happen. Okay, use while loop. Okay, okay. So in the third situation, if we don't know and cannot determine in advance the number of repetition needed, okay, this is similar like the second situation, but it at least once it at least need to execute at least one. Okay, use do while loop. Okay. Okay. So do while loop can use to replace a while loop if loop body has to be executed before testing the continuation condition, meaning that we want to execute the body of statement, then only we want to test the loop control variable. Okay. So use the one that is most intuitive and comfortable for us. Okay. Okay, that's all for do while loop structure. Thank you for watching.